So Tiny and I came off a really good first season, and we're getting ready to go into the second season. And right now we're training as an ice dance team in Colorado at the Broadmoor with our coach Richard and Doreen. We also have Colleen O'Connor helping us out. Well, the compulsories were set. We love compulsories. And the original pattern is the Viennese waltz. And then our free dance as well. Now when you pick music, the compulsory is already picked for you. That's not a big deal. But the original set program and the free dance, we have to pick our own music for that. And in order to do that, we head over to Peter Collins' house. And Peter is the man who does the music for Around the Broadmoor, Colorado Springs. You go down to Peter's basement and he has hundreds and hundreds of records, vinyls, everywhere. He has them all categorized and organized. He knows where they're at. So we spend time at Peter's house in his basement. We spend time at the library looking at vinyls as well, finding things that we like, that we don't like, and ultimately picking up some tunes. What Peter does is he takes those vinyls and records them onto the reel-to-reel tapes. And he records a piece onto the reel, and then he'll cut another piece into it and make them sound good together. Once the reels are put together, then he converts them onto a cassette. And the cassette tape is what we used to play our music during the season. And he would record maybe 8 cassettes for us because they would wear out. They get lost or broken over time. And what's interesting is that when you play a tape, it apparently stretches over time. And so you can't just have one tape, you have to have several. You have to meet a certain time for both the original and for the free program to qualify. So we get our music together, the compulsories are all set, we have our original program designed and choreographed, we're ready. We went to our first competition at Southwest region. Did okay there. I think we placed second or third there. And then we went to the Midwest section, which is the one right before Nationals. And at this one, we skated pretty well. There was probably about 12 competitors. We were never sure we were going to fit in there. And did our compulsories, then did our original, and the free program. And we end up in 3rd place. And we were ecstatic because we weren't expecting anything, but it was a fabulous skate, had a good time, and we were going to the Nationals. That was about a month after the sectionals. Now the caveat with that is that our coach went and talked to the judges afterwards, which he usually does, to kind of get their opinion as to how things were liked. They liked our style, they liked our skating, they liked our free dance. Our original was terrible. It was boring, it didn't make sense. They wanted us to redo it. Now, that's usually unheard of, is once you have a program, you do that for the season, and to redo it mid-season is really kind of risky because nobody can look at it at that time, nobody can see what it looks like, nobody can judge it, and you're just going blind when you get to the Nationals as to what it's going to look like. So we had to redo it. We've been skating this for probably 6 months, getting it ready, and have the music, so it's all pretty well set in our brain as to how it goes. To redo this is going to be pretty difficult. Now, about the same time, the World Junior Championships were coming to Colorado, and they were at our rink at the Broadmoor. We were pumped about that, seeing all these people from around the world. Initially, there was a couple from Australia that came up about 2 weeks before because they wanted to get acclimated to the altitude of Colorado Springs. We got to know them pretty well. We watched them, we skated with them, we were teammates for a while, and they were fun to work with. Now, as the rest of the teams came in, we watched, we talked with them, we learned from them. So we were able to get some pretty good ideas as to what our new Viennese waltz should look like. And within about a week or so, we composed it and compiled it and choreographed it, and we were ready to go. Now again, we haven't had a chance to try it in front of anybody. Now we get to the Nationals, which is in Kansas City, Missouri. A little bit nervous about how this is going to go over. Now we perform the compulsories first, and during the different rehearsals or practice sessions, we're watching, our coaches are watching, we're kind of jockeying to see where is everybody going to fit in this competition, who's going to win. This being our first one, we have no expectations. We're thinking maybe 7th or 8th, kind of in the middle bottom. That's kind of normal. Our coach is like, you guys might be 6th, maybe something like that. You're going to probably fit that direction. I thought, hey, that's pretty cool. After the first set of dances, the compulsories, we get off the ice and the scores are tallied, and wow, we're 5th place. That's pretty amazing for us. First time out, we're pumped. Now the next day is the original, which is the brand new one for us. A little nervous about this, really nervous about it. After the performance is done, we were in I think the second group because we were in the 5th place and skated, and it went pretty well. And as the ordinals come back, there are several 2s and several 1s. So of that dance, we actually scored 2nd place. Now, once a team starts a competition, they usually stay in that same position the whole time. That's just kind of the way things worked back then. But we had moved from 5th place, we're down in 4th place. We could bump up a little bit. Yeah, pretty cool. We could handle that. Now, with that performance, with those ordinals that we earned, I was pretty emotional. And I'm not one to cry. But on the bus ride back to the hotel, I bawled my eyes out. Tanya was sitting next to me. She had no idea what to do. Like, what's this weirdo doing next to me crying? So that was a pretty intense moment for me. 2 days later was time for the free dance. And since we're now in 4th place, we're in the last group to go. And we go out after the ice is cleaned up. Our 5 skaters go out there, warm up, and we draw the last spot to skate, which is kind of nice because you're the last one the judges see, but it's tough because you've been sitting for 15 minutes after you're warmed up, so you're cooled down already. And after we get out there, we stand in our position, and I am frozen. My mind is blank. I have no idea what I'm supposed to do. I'm frozen out there. The music starts, Tanya starts to move, and I muddily start to move. My legs are like lead there. My brain is slow. I'm in this fog. I'm not sure what I'm doing out there. We come around a turn, and my arm is supposed to come up and go in front of Tanya, but it came up and it went on top of her head. Kind of schmucked her. Not very hard, but it schmucked her. And that woke me up. So my hitting Tanya woke me up for some weird reason. And the rest of the skate went automatically. My feet went where they were supposed to go. Her feet were there. We fit in well. The audience loved it. And we ended on time, and it was a great skate. Get off the ice, and we get our numbers. Now, at those times, you really can't tell where you're going to fit in the standings because it takes a while to calculate all the numbers. The accountants have to do a lot of work to get that set up. So since we were last to skate, the numbers came up maybe about 20 minutes to an hour afterwards. And we had moved from 5th to 4th. We were thinking, 4th is kind of nice. The results come back, and we actually were number 2. The ordinals, or the rankings for the free dance, were 6 of them were 2s, and 1 of them was 1. They really liked our original program, and they liked the free dance. And we placed 2nd overall. Silver medal, 1985, junior level ice dancing of the nation. That's Tanya and Dan Stahl. Now afterwards, there's a party for all the skaters that they throw, a lot of music, a lot of dancing, some soft drinks. And I was just thinking about all the different music that was played back then. Huey Lewis and the News, Tears for Fears, Pat Benatar, And if you've ever danced to Billy Idol's Eyes Without a Face, you know what I'm talking about, because you can't dance to that one. But it was a great ending to a wonderful time. And there's a photo of us at the end. And there's a picture of myself, Tanya, a future national champion singles lady, Robert Nardoza, and Dory Rodek. And this was in '85. About 6 years later, Dory and I actually start skating together. So it's kind of a nice throwback. But it's nice to be silver medal national champions,